Hi! In this video, we're going to be taking a quick look at our latest addition to our available resources, which is SmartLook. You can use JetAdmin and SmartLook together to build custom analytical dashboards for management and C-level, and also internal tools for your employees, and even customer-facing portals. But first, let's connect the data. Navigate to a window of adding a new resource and start typing in SmartLook. After you click on it, you will need to fill out a few fields. Let me name it to be SmartSync. It will make sense in the future. And let's get the API key from the SmartSuite dashboard. Here in the list, you need to click on API key and click on Generate New Key. Let's just copy it and paste it back to JetAdmin. And you can get your account ID just simply by copying it from the URL of the SmartSuite itself. Okay, perfect. Now, let's just select a solution. Also add this to the name so that I know that this is the resource of the project management solution. And click on Add Resource. Now, here's the good stuff. We support two different operation modes to work with SmartSuite. First one is sync mode. That's when we get all the data from the SmartSuite and store it locally on our database. The second one is direct connection. It's when the front end will query everything it needs when the user opens the application without storing this data anywhere. Let's go with sync mode for now. It usually takes a couple of seconds to get all the data from the SmartSuite to JetAdmin, but it usually depends on the amount of data that you have in SmartSuite. Once it's done, let's take a look at what we got. Let's not get ahead of ourselves and skip the layout selection for now. All the data that we got is stored within collections. Let's see at projects, for instance. We added this resource just recently, and Jet is generally quite smart in setting all of the fields, but sometimes needs a little bit of help. Here I'm setting up the status reports to dynamically load from another table. Let's just save it and double check that it works. And it looks good. Now, we're going to get over and create a sample dashboard from a layout. Select the dashboard layout over here, click on Continue, select the SmartSuite resource that we just created, and select the collection of projects, for instance. Here you can change the columns of the table on the button. Let me add a project manager and click on Apply Template. Now, since your data could be different from project to project, Jet really tries to guess what you're trying to see, but you can always change that. For instance, here in the group by selection, let's change it to the stage. You can also change the names of the values if you want to on the display tab over here. And now we can also rename the pie chart accordingly to our changes. So here, projects by stoplight status, change to projects by stage. All right. Now let me change the single value to display only the projects that are linked to a project manager with ID equals to this one, and rename this to Michael's projects. Now, I wanted you to show just one more thing about the ability to change the data directly on a table. So on the display tab, you can select it to be editable, and then you can double click on any field and just change its value. And it's going to be synced up with the SmartSuite itself. Now, remember when I told you that there is two separate operation modes? So we actually don't limit you on the number of resources that you can have. So we can just add a new one, select SmartSuite again. Let's name it Directs PM for project management. Copy the API key. Now copy the account ID from the URL and select the same solution for project management. And choose the direct connection here. Now, as you can probably tell, the loading times are significantly less because we don't store any data. So let's go with the blank canvas and add a table. Now, let's change the default resource to SmartSuite Direct and select the projects table. All right. Instead of making this table data changeable, let's create a separate form that will load up all the data from the current row. To do so, we need to select Run Operation, SmartSuite Update Record, and bind component to the table by ID. After clicking on Generate, we can see all the fields that we have for our project, so we can rearrange some fields a little bit. Those drop-downs can be justified. Now let's change the project description once again, just adding, and we would need to sync on this plan on Monday. All right, and click on the update button. Now you can see that action was executed successfully. So let's head back to the SmartSuite, open up the project, find the project, and yeah, the project description that we changed is already here. So yeah, that's the basics on how you can use SmartSuite with JetAdmin. You can build any dashboard, any customer portal, or any internal tool inside JetAdmin using SmartSuite data. Subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions, and see you in the next video.